This is PolitiPod's Set Up to Be Let Down Indictment Watch 2023 with your host, Matt Nisenoff.
I'm Matt Nisenoff for PolitiPod. Thank you for joining us on this special episode. We gathered 3 of the top people who were available just for you. We're going to read the indictment of Donald Trump over classified documents. We'll read it and have a few thoughts on it as well. Joining me for this occasion are my colleagues GD Fenderson, Rhonda Hansome, and Tom Bickle. Welcome, everyone, to PolitiPod's Set Up to Be Let Down Indictment Watch 2023. The title of the indictment we're here to discuss is The United States versus Donald J. Trump and Waltine Nauta. But the more Trump talks, the more it becomes Trump versus Trump.
And it won't do the DOJ any good to try to flip Nauta because he's suffering from white privilege by proxy syndrome.
The name Waltine is a boy's name meaning fortified town. It could become synonymous with fortified with good behavior.
Nauta is in the suit, which is ironic as Waltine sounds like a white cracker.
Defendant Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of the United States of America. He held office from January 20th, 2017 until January 20th, 2021. As president, Trump had lawful access to the most sensitive classified documents and national defense information gathered and owned by the United States government, including information from the agencies that comprise the United States intelligence community and the United States Department of Defense.
Yes, President Trump had access to the most sensitive classified documents, but as an idiot, he couldn't understand them.
Trump was president and saw classified documents. That's also when he figured out the Saudis would pay through the nose for this shit. Over the course of his presidency, Trump gathered newspapers, press clippings, letters, notes, cards, photographs, official documents, and other material in cardboard boxes that he kept in the White House. Among the materials Trump stored in his boxes were hundreds of classified documents.
He took those documents and kept them in cardboard boxes because dumpsters were too big to get in the door.
The classified documents Trump stored in his boxes included information regarding defense and weapon capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries, United States nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack, and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. The unauthorized disclosure of these classified documents could put at risk the national security of the United States, foreign relations, the safety of the United States military, and human sources, and the continued viability of sensitive intelligence collection methods. Sensitive military secrets were covered by some documents he took, though he claims that he was really looking for the colonel's secret recipe of 13 spices, because other military folks are losers. At 12 p.m. on January 20th, 2021, Trump ceased to be president. As he departed the White House, Trump caused scores of boxes, many of which contain classified documents, to be transported to the Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, Florida, where he maintained his residency. Trump was not authorized to possess or retain those classified documents. When Trump became a loser former president, he took boxes, including classified documents, to Mar-a-Lago, which the FBI alleges is not a secure location. The Mar-a-Lago Club was an active social club, which between January 2021 and August 2022 hosted events for tens of thousands of members and guests. After Trump's presidency, the Mar-a-Lago Club was not an authorized location for the storage, possession, review, display, or discussion of classified documents. Nevertheless, Trump stored his boxes containing classified documents in various locations at Mar-a-Lago Club, including a bathroom and shower, an office space, his bedroom, and storage room. Even more weirdly, they claim it's an active social club. On 2 occasions in 2021, Trump showed classified documents to others, as followed. Trump showed off classified military documents at his golf courses, which, to be fair, are restricted. In July 2021, at Trump National Golf Course in Bedminster, New Jersey, during an audio-recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed a security clearance, Trump showed and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, as president, I could have declassified it, and now I can't. You know, but this is still secret.
Allegedly showed multiple people secret documents while at his Bedminster Golf Resort. Ivana was the only one to take the secrets to her grave.
In August or September 2021, in the Bedminster Club, Trump showed a representative of his political action committee who did not possess a security clearance a classified map related to a military operation and told the representative that he should not be showing it to the representative and that the representative should not get too close.
So you don't want to get too close. If you knock over his lunch, he'll have the Secret Service bury you next to Ivana.
On March 30th, 2022, the Federal Bureau of Investigation opened a criminal investigation into the unlawful retention of classified documents at the Mar-a-Lago Club. A federal grand jury investigation began the next month. The grand jury issued a subpoena requiring Trump to turn over all documents with classified markings. Trump endeavored to obstruct the FBI and grand jury investigation and conceal his continued retention of the classified documents by, among other things, suggesting that his attorney falsely represent to the FBI and grand jury that Trump did not have documents called for by the grand jury subpoena, directing defendant Waltine Nauta to move boxes of documents to conceal them from Trump's attorney, the FBI, and the grand jury, suggesting that his attorney hide or destroy documents called for by the grand jury subpoena, providing to the FBI and grand jury just some of the documents for the grand jury subpoena while claiming that he was cooperating fully, and causing a certification to be submitted to the FBI and the grand jury falsely representing that all documents called for by the grand jury subpoena had been produced.
Yeah, Trump suggested that his attorneys hide or destroy some of the documents that the grand jury wanted to produce. Like he would have gotten rid of them himself, but he had extra Taco Bell for lunch. I know, boy, does he miss those White House plumbers now.
When the FBI started to investigate to find classified documents, Trump blamed his own attorneys for hiding and destroying them, which was better than his initial idea of blaming the dog.
As a result of Trump's retention of classified documents after his presidency and refusal to return them, hundreds of classified documents were not recovered by the United States government until 2022, as follows. A, on January 17th, nearly 1 year after Trump left office, and after months of demands by the National Archives and Record Administration for Trump to provide all the missing presidential records, Trump provided only 15 boxes, which contained 197 documents with classification markings. B, on June 3rd, in response to a grand jury subpoena demanding the production of all documents with classification markings, Trump's attorney provided the FBI 38 more documents with classification markings. C, on August 8th, pursuant to a court-authorized search warrant, the FBI recovered from Trump's office and a storage room at Mar-a-Lago Club 102 more documents with classification markings. A year after leaving office and requests for all documents to be returned, Trump still had documents. 6 months after that, when the grand jury subpoenaed all documents, Trump still had documents. Another 3 months after that, and the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago and found over 100 more classified documents. To be fair, he thought they'd asked him to return documents.
Defendant Nauta was a member of the United States Navy stationed as a valet in the White House during Trump's presidency. Beginning in August 2021, Nauta became an executive assistant in the office of Donald Trump and served as Trump's personal aide or body man. Nauta reported to Trump, worked closely with Trump, and traveled with Trump.
Trump valet Walt Nauta charged as Trump's co-conspirator. Nauta went from petty officer to working for a petty office, sir.
Waltine Nauta left the Navy to become Trump's so-called body man. The worst part is the spackling.
The Mar-a-Lago Club was located on South Ocean Boulevard in Palm Beach, Florida, and included Trump's residence, more than 25 guest rooms, 2 ballrooms, a spa, a gift store, exercise facilities, office space, and an outdoor pool and patio. As of January 2021, the Mar-a-Lago Club had hundreds of members and was staffed by more than 150 full-time, part-time, and temporary
The
employees.
Mar-a-Lago Club contains 25 guest rooms, 2 ballrooms, a spa, gift store, office space, outdoor pool, patio, and exercise facilities. The club also had hundreds of members and was staffed by more than 150 employees, and none of them could get Trump to use the exercise facilities.
Mar-a-Lago is a place that has things happening there.
Between January 2021 and August 2022, the Mar-a-Lago Club hosted more than 150 social events, including weddings, movie premieres, and fundraisers that together drew tens of thousands of guests.
They even have guests.
The United States Secret Service provided protection services to Trump and his family after he left office, including at the Mar-a-Lago Club, but it was not responsible for the protection of Trump's boxes or their contents. Trump did not inform the Secret Service that he was storing boxes containing classified documents at the Mar-a-Lago Club.
Trump did not inform the Secret Service that he was storing boxes of classified material at Mar-a-Lago. They had enough trouble protecting his ass. They couldn't cover it too.
Secret Service does protect him, but not boxes, even if he is shaped like a box. National security information was information owned by, produced for, and under the control of the United States government, pursuant to Executive Order 12958, signed in April 1995, as amended by Executive Order 13292 in March of 2003, and Executive Order 13526 in December of 2009. National security information was classified as top secret, or confidential, as follows. A, information was classified as top secret if the unauthorized disclosure of that information reasonably could be expected to cause exceptionally grave damage to the national security that the original classification authority was able to identify or describe. B, information was classified as secret if the unauthorized disclosure of that information reasonably could be expected to cause serious damage to the national security that the original classified authority was able to identify or describe. C, information was classified as confidential if the unauthorized disclosure of that information reasonably could be expected to cause damage to the national security that the original classification authority was able to identify or describe.
Information by and for the government has classifications, including top secret, secret, and confidential. While Trump understands those as Trump secret, secret but not for Trump, and Trumpfidential, at least in his head.
The classification marking no foreign stood for not releasable to foreign nationals and denoted that the dissemination of that information was limited to United States persons.
Another classification is NOFORN, which Trump took to mean no porn because he didn't understand it.
Classified information related to intelligence sources, methods, and analytical processes was designated as sensitive compartmented information, SCI. It was to be processed, stored, used, or discussed in an accredited, sensitive compartmented information facility. And only individuals with the appropriate security clearance and additional SCI permission were authorized to have access to such national security information. Yet another classification is SCI, which Trump thinks is that TV show about forensics.
You need an additional clearance to have the difference between exceptionally grave damage, serious damage, and damage explained to you. Trump mentally added a seventh classification, SIT-TIP, stuff I took to impress people. PolitiPod set up to be let down Indictment Watch 2023 with your host, Matt Nisenoff, will return after this brief message.
Hi, I'm Jacob Nisenoff, and I'm one of the people who make PolitiPod, the podcast. Yeah, the political podcast that you haven't listened to yet. We are a group of people who have fun with politics, governance, and more. We alone can save you from making your own political humor podcast. Our writers put together one-liners, sketches, and even a small amount of information on upcoming elections every 2 weeks. You can find out what we have done the last 7 years by going to the soundcloud.com/politipod, or just visit on any Tuesday to see if it's one of the Tuesdays we have a new episode. However you want to do it, feel free to enjoy the laugh and be on your way. Thanks for listening to me. Now go listen to your new political humor podcast of choice, PolitiPod. We're at soundcloud.com/politipod.
And now back to PolitiPod, set up to be let down Indictment Watch 2023 with your host, Matt Nisenoff.
When the vulnerability of or threat to specific classified information was exceptional, and the normal criteria for determining eligibility for access to classified information were insufficient to protect the information from unauthorized disclosure, the United States could establish Special Access Program, SAPs, to further protect the classified information. The number of these programs was to be kept to an absolute minimum and limited to programs in which the number of persons who ordinarily would have access would be reasonably small and commensurate with the objective of providing enhanced protection for the information involved. Only individuals with the appropriate security clearance and additional SAP permissions were authorized to have access to such national security information, which was subject to enhanced handling and storage requirements.
The real saps are the people that trusted Trump with any classified information.
There are also special access programs, or SAPs, which Trump considers those in the military service.
Pursuant to Executive Order 13526, information classified at any level could be lawfully accessed only by persons determined by an appropriate U.S. government official to be eligible for access to classified information and who had signed an approved non-disclosure agreement, who received a security clearance, and who had a need to know the classified information. After his presidency, Trump was not authorized to possess or retain classified documents.
After his time in office, Trump no longer had the need to know about some documents, didn't have the clearance, and did not sign the non-disclosure agreements needed to have them. To be fair, after all his NDAs had been broken, he was thrilled to break one himself.
Executive Order 13526 provided that a former president could obtain a waiver of the need-to-know requirement if the agency head or senior agency official of the agency that originated the classified information, one, determined in writing that access was consistent with the interest of national security, and two, took appropriate steps to protect classified information from unauthorized disclosure or compromise, and ensured that the information was safeguarded in a manner consistent with the order. Trump did not obtain any such waiver after his presidency. The executive branch departments and agencies whose classified documents Trump retained after his presidency.
There is a waiver for the need-to-know requirement. Trump didn't get that because he felt it made him look like a nerd. As part of his official duties as president, Trump received intelligence briefings from high-level U.S. government officials, including briefings from the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, senior White House officials, and a designated briefer. He regularly received a collection of classified intelligence from the United States intelligence community known as the President's Daily Brief.
United States intelligence community, also USIC. USIC is also the way you felt after trying to explain things to Trump.
The USIC's mission was to collect, analyze, and deliver foreign intelligence and counterintelligence information to America's leaders, including the president, policymakers, law enforcement, and the military, so they could make sound decisions to protect the United States. The USIC consisted of United States executive branch departments and agencies responsible for the conduct of foreign relations, protection of national security.
There's a group who works to provide the best possible information on foreign intelligence in the form of President's Daily Briefing. Without their inserting Trump's name every fifth word, it's not known how he could have comprehended any of it.
During his presidency, Trump retained classified documents originated by or implicating the equities of multiple USIC members and other executive branch departments and agencies, including the following. The CIA, which was responsible for providing intelligence on foreign countries and global issues to the president and other policymakers to help them make national security decisions. The Department of Defense was responsible for providing the military forces needed to deter war and ensure national security. Some of the executive branch agencies comprising the USIC were within the Department of Defense. The National Security Agency was a combat support agency within the DoD and a member of the USIC, responsible for foreign signals, intelligence, and cybersecurity. This included collecting, processing, and disseminating to United States policymakers and military leaders foreign intelligence derived from communications and information systems, protecting national security systems, and enabling computer network operations. The National Geospatial Intelligence Agency was a combat support agency within the DoD, responsible for the exploitation and analysis of imagery intelligent geospatial information in support of the national security objectives of the United States and the geospatial intelligence requirements of the Department of Defense, the Department of State, and other federal agencies. The National Reconnaissance Office was an agency within DoD responsible for developing, acquiring, launching, and operating space-based surveillance and reconnaissance systems that collected and delivered intelligence to enhance national security. The Department of Energy was responsible for maintaining a safe, secure, and effective nuclear deterrent to protect national security, including ensuring the effectiveness of the U.S. nuclear weapons stockpile without nuclear explosive testing. The Department of State and Bureau of Intelligence Research was responsible for protecting and promoting U.S. security, prosperity, and democratic values. Within the Department of State, the Bureau of Intelligence and Research was a member of the USIC and responsible for providing intelligence to inform diplomacy and support U.S. diplomats.
It's small d democratic values. The GOP are intimidated by big D democratic values. They suffer from value envy. PolitiPod set up to be let down Indictment Watch 2023 with your host, Matt Nisenoff, will return after this brief message.
Friend of the show, Dylan Brody, has a wonderful book out called Relatively Painless that can be found at dylanbrody.com. Jenny Lawson, best-selling author of Furiously Happy and Let's Pretend This Never Happened, says, "My only complaint is that I wanted more, which is a good complaint to have. It made me laugh and cry and then laugh again and then pee and then cry. Lots of fluids lost, but in a good way. A book to make you appreciate the tragically funny and beautiful horror of family." David Sedaris says, "Dylan Brody is funny in ways that don't remind me of anyone. Relatively Painless, a beautiful book for anyone who ever had a family." Relatively Painless can be found at dylanbrody.com.
And now back to PolitiPod's set up to be let down Indictment Watch 2023 with your host, Matt Nisenoff.
As a candidate for President of the United States, Trump made the following public statements, among others, about classified information. A. On August 18, 2016, Trump stated, "In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law." B. On September 6, 2016, Trump stated, "We also need to fight this battle by collecting intelligence and then protecting our classified secrets." We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. C. On September 7th, 2016, Trump stated, one of the first things we must do is to enforce all classification rules and to enforce all laws relating to the handling of classified information. D. On September 19th, 2016, Trump stated, we also need the best protection of classified information. E. On November 3rd, 2016, Trump stated, service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country.
And on November 4th, 2016, Trump stated, no one will be above the law. Law adjacent, maybe. Outside the law, definitely, but not above.
As President of the United States on July 26, 2018, Trump issued the following statement about classified information. As the head of the executive branch and commander-in-chief, I have a unique constitutional responsibility to protect the nation's classified information, including by controlling access to it. More broadly, the issue of security clearance raises larger questions about the practice of former officials maintaining access to our nation's most sensitive secrets long after their time in government has ended. Such access is particularly inappropriate when a former official has transitioned into highly partisan positions and seek to use real or perceived access to sensitive information to validate their political attacks. Any access granted to our nation's secrets should be in furtherance of national, not personal interests.
In January 2021, as he was preparing to leave the White House, Trump and his White House staff, including Nauta, packed items, including some of Trump's boxes. Trump was personally involved in this process. Trump caused his boxes containing hundreds of classified documents to be transported from the White House to the Mar-a-Lago Club.
From January through March 2021, some of Trump's boxes were stored in the Mar-a-Lago Club's white and gold ballroom, in which events and gatherings took place. Trump's boxes were for a time stacked on the ballroom stage as depicted in a photograph.
In March 2021, Nauta and others moved some of Trump's boxes from the white and gold ballroom to the business center at the Mar-a-Lago Club.
Nauta carrying all those boxes back and forth as part of the Mar-a-Lago fitness plan. Nauta's gym name is Boxy Balboa.
On April 5th, 2021, an employee of the office of Donald Trump texted another employee of that office to ask whether Trump's boxes could be moved out of the business center to make room for staff to use it as an office. Trump employee 2 replied, "Whoa, oh, okay." So POTUS specifically asked, wait for those boxes to be in the business center because they are his papers. Later that day, Trump employee 1 and Trump employee 2 exchanged the following text messages. 2, we can definitely make it work if we moved his papers into the lake room. 1, there's still a little room in the shower where his other stuff is. Is it only his papers he cares about? There's some other stuff in there that are not papers. Could that go to the storage, or does he want everything in there to be on property? 2, yes, anything that's not the beautiful mined paper boxes can definitely go to storage. Want to take a look at the space and start moving tomorrow morning?
These are the beautiful mind papers of a spotless mind leader. This has been part 1 of PolitiPod's, set up to be let down Indictment Watch 2023 with your host, Matt Nisenoff. Please join us as we continue reading and commenting on United States of America v. Donald J. Trump and Waltine Nauta. When you come back, bring a friend, and please remember to like and share. Thank you and see you soon.